Hey everyone, welcome to Supertrash Legends, a podcast where we talk about Legends of Tomorrow. I'm Jen.
And I am Alyssa.
And today we're talking about Here We Go Again, or Here I Go Again. Here We Go Again?
Mamma Mia. I think it's like based on Mamma Mia.
Here We Go Again. Yeah, because she says Mamma Mia and at some point during the show.
I thought it should have been called Hedgehog Day, but what do I know?
Oh, Hedgehog Day. That would have been funny.
Mm-hmm.
That's why you were mad about the name of the title. I
Yeah.
like Hedgehog Day more. That was really cute because she went in and she was all excited. She was like, "You told me to tell you Hedgehog Day." And he's like, "What?"
So this was by far, I think, my favorite episode of Legends ever. I'm trying to think of an episode that I liked more as a whole, more than this. And I think there's like maybe better episodes that like were more dramatic and had more substance, but this is definitely my favorite episode. It was fun. I don't think it was a single part that I disliked. There was one part that I disliked. There's a part I very much disliked. And that was pretty much everything Nate and Amaya. It felt so out of place to me.
Okay, well let's get into that in a second. Because I want to talk about this a little bit. I want to talk about why this episode succeeded so much, because I feel like a lot of sci-fi TV shows do a time loop episode of some sort. They do one where they're racing against a clock to stop a bomb, or Dark Matter just did one last year. Battlestar Galactica has done one. Star Trek has done one. They're all over the place, you know? And so, but this one, I think why Legends succeeds so well, especially in this episode, because Legends always does humor pretty well. Like, of the DC TV shows, Legends is the funniest. Because they don't care anymore. Like, I don't think that they have anyone overseeing the writing and the filming of what's going on in the episodes until it airs, and then they're like, oh, well, it's too late now. Like, that's my headcanon, is that nobody's babysitting the crew over at Legends. And that's why it works. But they also have a tendency to do emotion surprisingly well for a show that is so funny.
Well, I think this episode succeeded because it knows its characters so well. And I think that was the key to this episode. And I think what was so great about this episode was that we just lost Jax and Gray. Like, their sign's gone, so they're gone. So I think it was a great way to kind of reintroduce us all to the team. I mean, we all know them, but to be, okay, Zari's the newest one there, and let's reorient all of us to who these people are. And I just thought that was a really, really good way to do it. Because it wasn't about the loss of Jax, although
I miss him.
I loved seeing Zari work on the ship, but it also really made me miss him.
Yeah, I agree.
But I just think that to me was what really succeeded, is that this episode also really had a point. It was not a film, it just had, it was able to do what it needed to be done.
No, I agree. It's a show that, it lets the characters be themselves. It is not afraid to take these episodes like this and let the characters develop through to remind you who they are. You're never going to see an episode of Arrow where you get these nice moments between even Diggle and Oliver. We don't get those anymore. We don't get any of those character building episodes. On The Flash, you might get some, with Barry and maybe Cisco. Mm-hmm. But for the most part, those TV shows have kind of abandoned building their characters up.
Whereas because Legends, they're not true ensembles.
They're not true ensembles. You're right.
And I think that goes back to last week. Like, they're not true ensembles, and I think that's where they struggle, where they try to be. But Legends is a true ensemble show.
Yes.
Where do we want to start? Because I have...
Well, let's go ahead and jump into it. We always start with the worst part of the episode. So go ahead and tell me your least favorite part.
Nate and Amaya just felt very out of place this episode. Like, I don't not like them. I liked them last season enough. But this just felt really forced.
I felt like watching them that I had missed an episode.
Yes.
Like, where was the reconciliation between the two of them?
Maybe that's the thing, is that we're not supposed to know because no one else knew. Zari just happened upon it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, and I tend to think that we usually see most of the interactions between the crew through the eyes of Sarah.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe if Sarah hadn't noticed it, then we as a viewer wouldn't have noticed it.
It just felt... It was so weird because I really liked Nate this episode. Besides that stuff.
I mean, I think it probably is so jarring because for the first couple of episodes, the two of them getting back together was such a, I don't want to say heavy plot, but it was a very apparent plot. Mm-hmm. That Nate and Amaya wanted to be together. Nate wanted to be with her. He was trying to win her back. And then it kind of fell off. Other things took precedence over the two of them being together. And then last week we kind of saw hints of it again. And then this week it was just, they were just full blown.
But it was also weird because it was full on, like, full blown sexual, not full blown relationship. And I think that's where I had the hardest time with it. It wasn't like them trying to be like how they feel. It was just like, yeah, we're boning. We can't stop boning.
I don't know. I mean, that's a people thing. Like when you're in close quarters like that with somebody you've already had sex with, maybe it's been a couple of months, you start to feel the romantic tension and stuff. That I understand way more than I do an emotional relationship between them. Like them going and having sex and then using the what did they call it?
I have no idea what it's called.
Mind flash, the memory eraser, the eternal sunshine of the spotless mind machine. They use that after they have sex, and then they go and have sex again, and then they use it again. And I think that is a very human thing. And so I didn't hate the two of them this week. I didn't dislike Nate as much as I did last week, because Nate was really good this week.
Nate was amazing this week. It was just like, it was a little, I guess I don't believe that it didn't make sense for him, especially this episode, for him helping Zari out, to be like, oh, I really understand. We're going to die, and I'm just going to go bone her instead. You know what I mean? Like, to me, that was, like, felt a little off. Because he was very much into helping Zari. And I think that was the point where it turned me off.
Did he do that, though? Did he abandon her at one point to go have sex with Amaya?
Well, he's like, oh, she's like, go, someone needs to talk to Amaya about, like, what we have to investigate. And then he goes, talks to Amaya, and they end up having sex.
Oh, when she's standing outside, and that's when she's like, ew, gross.
Yeah.
Kill me now. And then the ship explodes. I think I'm okay with that because I got so many disgusted faces from Zari every single time they had sex. Like, I thought it was great that anytime Zari saw Nate and Amaya together, she was like, ew, ugh, gross. But when it came to Sarah and Ava, she was like, yes, girl, get it. Go, go, go. I was like, she was the biggest cheerleader once she realized that Ava was crushing on Sarah. She was not disgusted at all. So I think maybe it's just Nate. Maybe
wouldn't you be disgusted if you heard Amaya call Nate tiger and growl?
Yeah, I'd be like, Amaya,
I almost threw up a little in my mouth. I think actually, like, I think that was the part, and I just had a hard time watching them together after that because I was really frustrated with him, like, being like, I'll help you, and then going and sleeping with Amaya. And I think that tainted their relationship aspect of this episode. Him and Zari, I love the fact that they made it Nate that believed her and not Ray.
That because Ray thought that she had just had too much sedative.
Well, actually, I have the entire list of what he said it could be. It could be cabin fever, it could be space madness, it could be acute entropic dementia, or too many donuts.
Dude, when she put that whole donut into her mouth,
while reading Mick's book.
While reading Mick's erotica.
We need to see that.
We do.
I want to make a campaign.
Do you think that is his fantasy? Do you think that he wants to be with a busty alien? That's why he hasn't been romantic with anybody. He's waiting for his busty alien so he can find his home.
I think it's so funny that he picked sci-fi for his.
He lives on a freaking time
But there
ship.
aren't aliens. The last time they saw aliens was the Dominator.
The Dominator.
They don't see aliens. They're a time ship. They're not a spaceship. I think.
Yeah,
I don't know.
That's fair. But I think I would like to see Mick encounter some aliens.
Yes. Well, we need another crossover with Supergirl.
We do. We all have our dirty fantasies, and that's Mick's.
We need to start a campaign where they need to publish some of that book. Yes. We're starting it here.
Okay.
And
everybody
I'll
take
tweet
to
it
Twitter.
Out every day, every hour until it happens. That's a lie. I will not do that. But I'll tweet it out maybe once.
And I'll probably retweet it.
Thanks, Jen.
You're welcome. I'm so supportive of all your endeavors.
But more than that, I love the length that Mick went to protect his writing. Also, they're on a fucking time machine, and he's using a typewriter.
I think that's the safest way for him to protect what he's doing.
That's true.
That Gideon can't read that when it's on a typewriter.
Obviously that's false because Gideon did read it.
Well, I mean, she probably didn't realize it at first. I feel like Mick's book slipped under her radar for a while.
I bet you she found out about it because he says every word out loud as he's writing it.
Oh, I bet he does.
And then she
cataloged he just mumbles it as he click, click, click.
So it was a verbal, click. It was an oral history of the book. And then, I mean, I could speak for a full hour about Ray's outfit.
His 70s
loved
outfit.
It. His, Freddie Mercury outfit. Yeah.
Yes.
It was, I think every single episode of Legends should begin with them walking in white disco wear. It was amazing.
And Sarah in just bright blue eyeshadow. Ray in platform heels, tripping over them.
Can we for a second talk about, this is one thing I was confused about, the only time we need to talk about the plot this episode, really. I'm really confused what they were doing. They were in the 70s to get the song Waterloo, and Napoleon was there? Was Napoleon the anachronism?
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 I assume that Napoleon
was transported to disco, where the song Waterloo, which was about his attack. Okay, whatever. It doesn't really matter.
It doesn't matter. That's not the detail that you need to take.
I was just more because I couldn't figure out
so many.
I couldn't figure out why Mick was wearing 1800s garb and everyone else was in disco wear.
So I had this headcanon that Sarah went in to Mick's quarters and was like, "Hey, we're going to 1970 to capture Napoleon." And all Mick heard was Napoleon, so he put on appropriate attire to go engage with Napoleon, and then walked out, and Sarah was just like, "Yeah, that's fine, whatever, let's go. Get in the jump ship." And it ended up working out because something Napoleon saw Mick as a kindred spirit. He was another lost soul in the time something, and that's how they caught Napoleon. Because Mick was too lazy to change his outfit.
God, there's so many things to talk about. I don't even know how to go from one thing to another. The fact that they do their own laundry, they have I just thought that was so funny. I'm like, they have a ship that makes them outfits when they need to for anything, and yet Gideon's like, "You guys do your own fucking laundry."
I think that
I love it.
I think that has to 100% be Gideon. She has to get her entertainment somehow. And so she makes them do ridiculous little chores like washing and folding their own laundry. Or they have to, I don't know, I imagine they have to cook their own food. But she'll supply all the food that they need, but they have to cook it. Or, I don't know. Yeah. Just some ridiculous task, if you want jelly-filled donuts, you have to put the jelly in yourself. And so she leaves just empty cutout donuts with a little filling container right next to it. And then Mick is just angrily squeezing it into the jelly donuts.
When Ray and Mick were doing laundry, I kept thinking about when we were talking last week about shipping the two of them.
Yes.
That's all I thought. And then especially because it was during the segment where Zari's like having her good times, and I'm like, this is a Love Actually moment between Mick and Ray. You heard it here first. We shipped it first.
I've been shipping the two of them since the beginning. So
okay. Well,
y'all
Jen
are gonna have
to
get behind my Mick Ray, my Heat Ray ship.
Also, God. Also, when Zari goes to Mick and he's like, "This time travel stuff. Do you ever feel deja vu?" She's like, "What's that?" "It's French." "I don't like the French."
I hate the French. Yeah. Okay, so we could talk about. Why don't we talk about the individual characters?
Okay.
So we've talked about Mick and his writing and how we need to get a copy of at least some of that book. And we talked about Mick and Ray's interaction. Let's go ahead and just jump into Ray. We kind of talked about him, I guess.
Ray's was kind of like, I have a secret about Sarah. I'm not saying it. That was it.
So the thing that I loved the most about Ray is too good for this world. He is too good for the legends. He is just so sweet, and he's so terrified of Sarah. And I love that. But
well, I don't think he's terrified of See,
I think he's terrified of Sarah.
I think so too, but I think what they were saying in this episode was like they were using that, but he's scared that if she gets angry, Mollis is gonna overtake her.
Right.
That's why he was scared of her.
No, I know that, but I also think he's kind of a little bit terrified of her.
Yeah.
Despite all that.
Even though they've known each other the longest.
Yeah. He knows her. And so, like, there's a moment where they're little and they're spying on Sarah in the jump ship, and Ray says, Sarah knows how to close.
Oh, yeah.
And I thought that was such a good line from Ray, because Ray has watched her romance all of these men and women through time. But then he made the comment that this one's different. So Ray has quietly been watching. I think Ray's probably known for the longest amount of time that Sarah is crushing on Ava.
He knows everything except stuff that's happening to him.
Yes. I think he's definitely a very quiet people watcher.
Or if it's torrid, he doesn't always notice it. Because he assumes that it's like, if something bad's going on, or something like nefarious, that he doesn't notice as much, because he assumes the good. Mm-hmm. If that makes sense. But yeah, I'm surprised that they had Ray not believe her. I guess I think they needed it because I think they needed Nate, the person that she really dislikes the most, to be the one that gets her. But I'm still so, like, it seems a little off that Ray would be so dismissive.
It does. And I mean, I think one of the things that I like about Ray and Zari in particular, I don't really ship them romantically, but I wouldn't be mad if the two of them somehow got together, because Zari is cynical as hell. She has got some demons. She is a female version of Mick Rory, basically. Like, she has dry humor. She's crass. She doesn't really hold back in how she feels about people. And I love that about her.
Or anything.
Or anything. But then there's Ray, adorable little ray of sunshine that he is. He sees this world through rose-tinted glasses. And I think that the episode where you see Baby Ray with the Dominator, I think that really kind of stuck with Zari. That his optimism and his belief in this creature that will probably kill them all really kind of changed, at least a little bit, how she views him. You know, I think when she first met him, she was like, "Who's this stupid dude? Who's this stupid
she literally
white
said
boy?"
that.
Yeah, you know, and then now here he is, still all bubbles and rainbows and puppies, and she might admire that a little bit, and I think I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
So, I don't know why he would.
I mean, I think they needed it for plot-wise. They needed it to be Nate, and I think the only way that they could do that is if Ray, because she would obviously go to Ray first. And so the only way that it could be Nate was if Ray dismissed it. And I think that part of it is, you know what, going with you, Ray's scared of Sarah. And so he kind of just wants Zari to do what Sarah's saying so Sarah doesn't get mad.
That's a good point.
I'll go with that.
Yeah, okay.
It's plausible. I don't know if that was meant to be, but it's plausible, which is nice to talk about a show like that.
Yeah. All right, now I guess we talked about Nate a little bit. Do we have anything more to say about Nate and Zari's interactions?
I mean, yes. Like, all of it. It was just so good. It was, like, from the moment that he's like, we're friends, and she's like, wow, like, maybe we are. And then he was helping her, and then the fun montage. I think that was, like, the moment that I'm like, I love Nate. Yeah. The fun montage, because the fun montage was him being like, you can't get out of this. You need to relax.
Yeah, definitely.
And, I mean, the first thing they do is eat whipped cream.
Whipped cream. Yeah,
but then the snowball fight with Mick was, God, so many of them were my favorites.
Yeah. The bear trap. Her screaming, "Oh my God," was really good. Yeah, I thought the little montage was great. Zari is adorable.
She's so fucking hot. She's so. Do you know she really plays the violin in real life?
I assumed that she did by the end of the episode when she actually played it.
Yeah, she posted a picture. The actress posted a picture of her as a kid playing the violin.
Aww, I love her more.
So, Amaya was non-existent. She had nothing to do this episode, which was kind of disappointing.
I think that was probably my least favorite part, was that Amaya was pretty much non-existent. She was really only there to play off of Nate.
Yeah.
And that bums me out a little bit.
Because I feel like Zarya would go to Amaya.
I think so, too.
But she wouldn't be of much help because she's from the past. So, like, she couldn't even say about Groundhog's Day. No, okay.
Yeah.
Actually, I take it back, because if Nate loves that movie so much, he's definitely made her watch it.
And see, I don't know. I think that Amaya would be the kind of person that would be, he would say, okay, I'm going to go, let's go watch a Bill Murray movie. And Amaya would be like, no, I'm not. No thanks. You go do your thing. I'm going to go do mine. That's how I like to believe their relationship works. That's the only way that I can see that they stay together.
If she liked Bill Murray, he would definitely have seen it.
Yeah, but I don't see her being a person who likes Bill Murray movies.
No, I meant more. I've been like, if she wanted him to watch something, he would watch it.
Oh yeah, in a heartbeat, because he definitely loves and needs her more than she loves and needs him.
Okay, this is my favorite. So I have the quote that she says when she says her like, let me go tell everyone what I learned. What you guys have is so special. I mean, the way that you look at each other honestly makes me want to puke. But don't fight it. You're crazy for each other. Just don't have sex on missions. Like, I love her.
I love her. With the comment that she made, hold on, I wrote this one down. When Nate says, why would we flash each other after having sex? She probably wants me to forget how awesome it was. And Zari says, or how short. And it's just so perfect. She's so snarky. And I love it.
I feel like I'm not ready to talk about Sarah yet.
Yeah?
Do you want to save that for last?
We can, but I kind of wanted to save Gideon for last.
Okay.
All right, so Sarah.
Oh my God. She was just so everything. Like, her interactions with Zari, I shipped everyone. Well, I shipped a lot of people this episode.
I did too.
When she's like, don't make me move you.
I know, I was like, kiss her, Sarah. Kiss her. Throw her off balance. Show her how gay she really is in that flannel.
I know. Just Sarah was so good this week. Katie Loss was so good this week. Because she had such a range of emotions, too. Like anger, sadness, concern, worry, like grief over her sister. Like, there was just a lot going on emotionally for Sarah, and she just, like, delivered.
Yeah, she was really great. I mean, normally we get to see, like, a lot of angry Sarah, especially when it comes to the crew frustrating her. But her going to the jump ship and then being vulnerable, talking about her day with Ava.
Oh my god.
Oh my gosh.
Have we ever seen her like that? Really? Like, maybe a little with Oliver in the beginning, where she finally got back to someone that she could talk to about what happened. I think we saw a little of that, but not like there was no happiness there. It was like relief,
No, I don't think that we've seen her that soft, really, since definitely not since she has died. When Laurel resurrected her, we haven't seen her. Well, since Arrow, season 3, and then all through Legends, we haven't really seen her this way. And I think that's a big part of why she is so afraid to start anything with Ava, because she's never really let herself be that open to someone else.
Mm-hmm.
And then here she is, spilling secrets, asking advice.
But yeah, she was just so open. I've never seen her so comfortable.
The smiles on her face every time Ava said a word. So what I think was really cute is that at the end of last week, she finally seemed like she got up the courage to admit that she had feelings for Ava. And she was like, all right, I'm going to do it. I'm going to ask her to come over. And then she does, and Ava kind of shuts that down just because of work stuff and Rip Hunter stuff. And so Sarah probably, being a person who's similar, got inside her own head, freaked out, and was like, no, it's probably for the best that she's not coming over. I don't want, she overthought it a lot. So then when Ava's in the jump ship and is like, I could come over, Sarah gets flustered. Like, I think that she gets, like, really nervous.
She got so
like,
flustered.
This could
she
actually
couldn't think of
happen.
Words.
Yeah, I know. And I think that's so freaking cute.
And then she started lying. Like, my team, actually her team really did need her, but I disagree with you just for the fact that I don't think this episode has any idea what the episode 4 was.
What do you mean?
Nothing besides Snart not being there. Nothing in this episode was like, oh, this is a continuation of last week. Like, they didn't, she called and her and Ava were talking, they weren't like, hey, so, like, what was that issue with Rip that you said that he was missing? Like, well, it was like there wasn't an issue there.
Only because this episode, in that context, didn't really happen. This is all stuff pulled from Gideon's mind.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
So,
JK.
That's why they wouldn't talk about any of that stuff with Rip, because it isn't technically continuous.
Did you expect that it was all Gideon?
I didn't expect that it was all Gideon. I expected that it was something to do with the Time Bureau. I thought the Gary thing was probably a little more on point. Gary making a 420 joke too. Like, you're not getting away with that on any of the other DC TV shows. Of course it's Legends that makes a freaking 420 joke. They're so immature.
Oh, wait. Also the fact that apparently Nate has psychedelic drugs on him on the ship.
Oh, did I miss that?
Yeah. Unless, again, Gideon made it up, but one of the times when Zari tries to explain it to Ray, he's like, did you get into Nate's psychedelic drugs again? Or, like, Nate's psychedelic mushroom. I couldn't get the second word.
Yeah. Oh, I totally see that about Nate. Nate is he seems like he'd be a total stoner. And he would have some of the good stuff, too. That would just send him on a real trip. But
oh my god. And then they talked at the end. Well, I mean, I guess that was the first time they talked when Sarah... oh, God. It's just... I'm scared. I mean, I know I shouldn't be on the show because they're better than others, but I'm scared.
You're scared that something is going to happen to Avalance?
I'm scared that something's going to happen to Sarah's heart.
I'm scared of that too, if only because they made a big point to mention about Ray having to kill Sarah if Malice
They can't kill Sarah.
There's no way. They also said no fewer than 5 times this episode alone that Sarah is the heart and soul of the Wave Rider. And
at first I was like, I mean, it's kind of like putting a ding on Gideon. Gideon's literally the soul of the Wave Rider.
I think Gideon could recognize that Sarah is what holds the team together.
I mean, it's like what we talked about last week. The only way this show couldn't exist without Sarah if it was like 3 or 4 seasons down the road.
Yeah.
Like, they'd need to very much develop every other character to be able to work without her. Because while it's an ensemble, she's still the glue.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I agree with you. And even then, I kind of feel like if in 3 or 4 seasons they want to do it without Sarah Lance, they should just not have the show anymore.
I mean, unless there's a compelling reason to keep going.
I mean, I'm not a big fan of keeping TV shows longer than 5 or 6 seasons. I think that after that point, you kind of you've run the gamut on stories.
You should tell Shonda Rhimes that.
Well, I mean, that show has definitely had its peaks and valleys.
But that show's crazy because like, the peaks come, like, really randomly. Like, oh my god, this show's good again. And we're on season 14. Like, you know what I mean?
That's fair. I haven't watched season 14. I think I'm still on, like, middle of season 8.
Yeah. There's still a lot more seasons.
I know. I don't have the fortitude. Anywho, okay.
Are we up to Gideon now?
Yeah, let's talk about this twist. Gideon shows up in person and lets Zoe know.
Did you ship them?
JK. Oh my god, I shipped them. I shipped a lot of people in this episode, but none more. Well, Avalance, but none more than Zari and Gideon. Like when Zari called Gideon a perverse evil genius, I was like, oh my god, she's so into her.
No, she said, I'm terrified and in awe of you, Gideon. Who knew you were such an evil genius and a bit of a perv? And then Gideon goes, you never asked.
I know! It's so great. It's so great that they have this AI that has such great personality. I love it. It was a really good reveal. It was a really good way to find Zari her place on the team.
And I think it's also great because, one, it was her thing worked. You know what I mean? So that was nice. Like the thing that she implanted to do this, they're like, we used what you, like, it kind of like was a little twist. It's like, no, this happened because you did this. And we've showed that you needed to stay here in order to do that. Second, anyone that's sick on the Wave Rider gets to chill with Gideon. Because that's my headcanon.
Gets to chill with her? Like,
yeah.
If they have, like, a cold?
No, like, if you are incapacitated or, like, you're sleeping in the med bay, does your unconscious just go to Gideon? Because I would do that every day.
And you'd be, like, just injuring yourself, just throwing your hands into closing doors and stuff.
And be like, give me some drugs and hook me up to Gideon, yeah.
Yeah, I need the sedative, please. I like to think that because Gideon is the evil genius that she is, that she probably does visit every comatose patient that comes through the uncomfortable frickin' med bay chair that they have there, the 2 torture chairs that they have. But then at the end she flashes their memory and they don't remember. But she remembers all the things that she learns about the people who come through.
She's probably so happy when Sarah's sick.
She has so many books of secrets. Her hair is so big.
I mean, she has an entire ship to store them in.
She has so many wigs that are just full of secrets.
Oh my god, in my heart, this really reminded me of Person of Interest a bit, just because, like, they put her through hundreds of simulations, and it's kind of like what they did to Shaw on Persons of Interest. I know you don't watch, so I'll just leave it at that, Jen. One of my favorite thing was when Gideon was explaining, because Zari's like, well, what about the bomb? Why did you have the bomb? She's like, it was just a plot device I incorporated. You know, a problem to solve, but the real problem was you. And it's just like, oh my god, that's perfect, because guess what Supergirl does all the time? Let's just put in a problem for you to solve, you know, a plot device.
But that's That's the great thing about Legends, is that they admit when they do these cliche moments. They're like, yeah, we totally just did a bomb on the ship that was exploding over and over, like everyone else does, and we're ridiculous about it, but we're gonna call it out, too.
Yeah, Gideon, I'm just so smart, and I just wanted a plot device. Gary was just there for fun.
Yeah, just shits and giggles. You know, gotta love that Gare. He's so stupid.
Not now, Gary. What would Zari have anything to say about him anyway?
You're always interrupting us. You screw up more than we do. Yeah, I have no idea.
On that point, my favorite thing was when Sarah's like, "We're in the business of fixing anachronisms," and I'm like, "You're not really in the business of anything."
Yeah. You're in the business of kind of fixing things while falling down.
And then making them worse.
Do. And then making them worse for a little bit, and then tweaking them so that they're kind of back to normal.
So I was just confused about like what actually happened with the like simulations. So did you understand that fully?
So Zari wanted to see what she would need to change in history to save her brother's life. And so she created this simulation so that she could see what she could do throughout history to make it so that he survived.
Mm-hmm.
And Gideon noticed that the one constant in the simulations where he survived was that Zari stayed on the Wave Rider.
Okay.
But because of Zari's fight with Sarah, she inevitably leaves the Wave Rider. So in an attempt to keep Zari on the Wave Rider so that she might be able to save her brother in the future, Gideon does this mind fuck.
And luckily she got hit with time juice, so she was in a coma? Or did Gideon purposely hit her with time juice?
I think Gideon purposefully hit her with time juice, because if you notice during the scene, there's a bit of a delay before the juice comes out and sprays her in the face.
Oh.
I think Gideon peed on her.
I said splooched. I like that more. Getting splooshed on her.
Sploosh.
Also, the fact that, like, I'm back to Nate and Amaya. The fact that Zari has to be, like, don't have sex on missions. Ugh, I hate them so much. Even Sarah doesn't. Oh, that's false. Sarah's had sex during missions.
Sarah most definitely has sex during missions. Snart was in the ER about to be lobotomized while she was having sex with Constantine.
Well, that was a little different.
She has no ground to stand on to start telling people not to have sex on missions.
I was thinking with the one with King Arthur. Wait, no, not that one. Not that, because they didn't actually sleep together. The first episode of season 2, when she's like
the Queen of France.
No, isn't this when she was a witch?
Oh, yeah, was that season 2?
I can't. I think
first episode is maybe it was first couple episodes of season 2. Something happened where they were all apart and they had to get back together, and that's when
she was in bed with a woman. Yeah,
she was in bed with a woman, and then she was being tried as a witch. But no, the first episode of season 2 was when she has sex with the Queen of France on a mission, and Jax is like, look, high fives and all, great job, but we gotta go. So yeah. So
I guess that is a common thing that needs to be said on this team.
I feel like Sarah has set the tone for
But she wasn't
sex on
captain
missions.
when she set the tone, so it's not, we can't judge her on it.
Yeah.
As captain now, besides that one time with Constantine. Ugh, I just want Ray to get some. Ray and Mick, man.
I don't think Mick needs it. I think he probably gets enough from his romance novels.
That's true.
I do want Ray to be happy.
I don't think Ray needs it either. I think Ray just needs companionship.
He does. He needs a puppy.
Wants.
He needs to go adopt a dog.
He needs a dominator.
I mean, I would prefer that they don't have a dominator on the Wave Rider.
But just a baby one. That never grows up.
But you can't get a baby dominator and then get rid of it once it becomes an adult. That's a horrible...
But do things age on the Wave Rider?
That's a good sci-fi question that I don't have an answer for.
I thought they're stuck in when they're in there. I don't know.
I don't either. But I still think a baby dominator is going to have a mama dominator come looking for it. And
okay,
then
I take it back. I take it back.
Yes.
Except I just really found that baby dominator very cute.
Okay. I still think he needs to go to a shelter and get a dog. and then he'll be a lot happier.
Can you imagine a dog on the Wave Rider?
Oh my gosh. It would be great because everyone on that ship would be sneaking that dog treats and pretending like they didn't give the dog treats.
And then everyone, anytime the dog did anything bad, they'd be like, Ray! So
exactly.
The only person that has responsibility of the dog is Ray, and everyone else just enjoys the...
I just wanna hear Sarah baby talk to a dog.
Like she does, and like all the cons.
Uh-huh. Okay. And then we have the final scene of the episode, which I actually thought was kind of surprising.
I did too, and I actually thought it kind of reinforced my idea that this was like a way to like be reintroduced to all the characters before Wally comes.
The final arc of the season.
Yeah. So it's like, okay, like let us remind you who these characters are with the loss, and we're gonna bring in Wally, so they're gonna stay constant. Like you remember that these are who these people are. Right. It kind of just reinforced that in my mind.
I am so excited to have Wally West on Legends. I love him so much.
That actually may be the reason that I catch up on Flash.
They haven't used him.
I mean, I haven't seen Flash since I don't think he had become the other whatever speedster when I stopped watching.
Oh yeah, you've got some catching up to do.
Remember, I finished the end of season 3 or 2 or 3, and I had to rewatch it 3 times because I didn't fully understand what happened, and then like I kind of watch episodes here or there, but I don't know. What season is it on?
4.
Okay, I finished season 2. Remember with the other guy from the other world? I have no idea what happened there, and I got really frustrated. I think I asked you about 50 times about like what actually happened.
You have.
And I still don't get it.
Just power through. Just start on season 3.
Okay.
Just start on season
but
3
I hate
and move
that.
forward. I know, but no matter, I mean, I've explained it to you how many times. I don't know how else to explain it to you, and at this point, I think you just need to power through.
Okay, fine. Does it ever come up again?
Yeah, I mean, they talk about Jay Garrick and the implications of the things that happen on Earth, too, but I think you can get by with what you know and just watch season 3.
Okay. For Wally.
Yeah,
for Wally, I'll do it.
Well, again, I think that the Flash really mishandled Wally, and that bums me out because I like Wally way more than I like Barry Allen. I mean, I don't dislike Barry Allen on the TV show, but for me, growing up, Wally West was the Flash for most of it. Yeah. And I tend to like his character a whole lot more than I like Barry
they were
Allen
both the
in
Flash?
a lot of the TV shows. Yeah.
Oh.
I mean,
who's the Flash now? Barry Allen.
Barry
in the
Allen.
comics. Okay.
And Wally West is just Kid Flash. But I really like the actor who plays Wally West. I think he's going to be so much happier on Legends, and I'm just super excited. I'm really happy to have him.
It's also going to be good to have another metahuman on. Or is he technically a metahuman?
He's a metahuman. Yeah.
And so like now that Jax and Stein are gone, because they were technically metahuman together?
Yep.
They have a metahuman again.
They do?
Are you asking me a question?
No.
Oh, you were confirming. Your
voice
went
they
up.
do. Sorry.
You said they do?
They do.
They do. They do?
They do.
And he's so cute.
He is adorable.
Rip just like, yep, I'm here, I'm taking you. I feel like Wally'd be like, you're gonna actually have to give me more information than that. I am not one of those losers that you could just be like, yep, come with me.
You just run away from him. Alright. Any last minute thoughts?
I'm excited for Pirates next week.
I am too. I'm excited for Date Night.
Oh yeah. Sorry. I was thinking of the movie. I don't know why. Or I was thinking of Game Night, the movie that's been out on commercials. Anyway, yeah, I'm excited for that. I haven't been reading too much because I don't want to get too overexcited.
Yeah, I don't normally read a lot of things before an episode comes out. I don't want to be spoiled too much.
It's more about like I just don't. I work myself up. And I want to just, like, watch and be, like, in the moment. Does that make sense?
It does. It does. You want to enjoy what you have.
Yes.
Okay. All right. If you guys want to follow me on Twitter, you can find me at Jen Stayrook.
You can find me at TV with APB. And you can find us at Supertrash Cast. And you can email us at supertrashcast@gmail.com. Let us know your thoughts, your innermost feelings, or just, like, say hi.
Yeah.
Or don't. It's okay.
We like highs.
Yeah. And hellos also work. Okay. Well, that is all.
Thanks for listening.
Bye.
Bye.